Many people consider Adam Smith to be the father of laissez-faire economics, with the idea of letting the invisible hand guide the markets without government intervention. What most people don't know is that Adam Smith wasn't totally against government intervention. As a matter of fact, he actually said it was necessary in three specific areas. The first was protecting the society from violence and invasion, which would be the country's army and defense system. The second was protecting every member of society from injustice or oppression, which would be a country's legal system. The third was providing public works and public institutions, which would be roads, bridges, and other public facilities. So as you can see, even Adam Smith, who became famous for promoting a free market, didn't think a completely free market could best serve society. Instead, government intervention, at some level, will almost always be necessary. In today's video, we're going to explore some other reasons why the government may want to intervene at the microeconomic level. Now, this lesson is going to be pretty short, but it's a crucial topic for your exams. We're going to talk about government intervention a lot in this course, so make sure you pay attention to fully understand the reasons why. Let's start with perhaps the most straightforward reason: to earn government revenue. Governments need money to fund public services, like roads, schools, hospitals, and defense. How do they get it? Primarily through taxes. Think about it. Income tax, sales tax like VAT or GST, corporate tax, excise duties, these all generate significant revenue. For example, if you buy a new phone, a portion of that price goes directly to the government as sales tax. This revenue is then redistributed to benefit society as a whole. Next up, to support firms. Governments often want to encourage certain industries or help businesses thrive. Why? Because healthy businesses create jobs, innovate, and contribute to economic growth. This support can come in various forms, like subsidies and price floors, which set the prices at artificial levels in order to guide the market towards certain outcomes that the government has decided on. These price controls will be explained in full detail in the next video. Another form of support might be protectionist policies, like quotas and tariffs. Again, these will be explained in later videos, but basically, these policies help protect firms from competition from foreign companies. This is especially important for developing countries who are trying to get their economies going. But their newly formed domestic firms may be competing in industries with very powerful companies that have already been operating for many years. Obviously, the domestic firms will never be able to compete in a free market, and this will keep the underdeveloped country from ever improving their economic position. In a case like this, the government may need to make sure that the domestic companies have an advantage in order to help the growth of their economy. Another vital role of government intervention is to support households on low incomes. Market economies, while efficient, can sometimes lead to significant inequality. To address this, governments often intervene in the free market to ensure everyone has access to a basic standard of living. Have you ever noticed how cheap public transportation is? But usually, it's the people who don't have cars that take public transportation, right? In other words, they take the bus because they have to, not because they want to. In a situation like this, the bus could charge much higher prices because most of their customers don't have a choice and would be forced to pay the higher price. So the government implements price controls to ensure that doesn't happen, because it is much more beneficial for the society if people can get to work easily to produce more goods, but then also have enough money left over to buy those goods and other goods too. This keeps the whole economy turning. Governments also intervene to influence the level of production and influence the level of consumption. They want to encourage the production and consumption of some goods while discouraging others. How? Through taxes and subsidies. For example, a government might place a high tax on cigarettes or sugary drinks to discourage consumption, which in turn reduces their production. This is often done for public health reasons. Conversely, they might offer a subsidy for electric car production or solar panels to encourage their use and reduce pollution. The next reason is perhaps the most important in your IB course: to correct market failure. This unit is absolutely massive, so don't worry, we're going to spend a lot of time on it, and you'll learn why and how it happens. But for now, all you need to know is that market failure occurs when the free market fails to allocate resources efficiently, leading to a net welfare loss for society. This means that producers are undersupplying a socially desired product or oversupplying a socially undesirable product. Both scenarios are bad for society, so the government needs to step in and fix it. Finally, a key reason for intervention is to promote equity. This is different from correcting a market failure. Promoting equity is about fairness and a more equitable distribution of income and wealth in society. However, most societies agree that a free market economy will inevitably result in inequality between rich and poor. There are certain government policies that we're going to learn about later that try to redistribute wealth more evenly in the society. And that's it for this lesson. Again, we're talking about government intervention at the microeconomic level. So even though these interventions may work very differently, they all aim to influence supply or demand for a good or service. Of course, this lesson was just an introduction as to why the government might need to intervene. Later, we're going to go into much more detail about each one and the policies that the government might use. Pause the video here and be sure you can explain all of the learning objectives before you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.